I loved it. Like I said, I had minor gripes to the show last night. The opening contact, the way MJF and Garcia finished, the syringe and the plastic bag. But other than that, I thought AEW delivered a monster pay-per-view last night with All Out. I thought it was a great show.
Yeah, and it was, and the match itself with Hangman and Swerve, was a really good match. But I think there's a bigger overall question that needs to be asked, and it is with AEW struggling a little bit in the attendance area. And if you're bringing, if you want to bring families in, man, this stuff's not family friendly. And I mean, I know as a father, if I'd have been sitting, my daughter's 15 now, but if I'd have been sitting there with her when she was 9 or 10 and seeing, somebody get suffocated with a plastic bag or somebody getting a syringe shoved in their mouth, and some of those other, some of the other spots, man, I'd be thinking twice about letting my daughter see that or, taking her to an event. I really would. I would have to consider this more of an adult thing for me. And I just wonder if AEW to a point is hurting themselves because they keep seeming, they keep, like you said, they had to up the ante from the last death match. Well, now what do? What does the next big feud do
Well, I don't
to
think
impress
I
people?
don't think we're going to see another Swerve and Hangman match anytime soon, so they're not going to have to worry about that. I think their rivalry for the time being ended last night at All Out.
But what about the next feud though? What I'm saying, let's say you get,
Well, the
we get
next
a
few doesn't matter if you reset it with two different guys. Then you're not upping the ante from each other. I'm speaking of upping the ante in the Hangman and Swerve feud itself.
Hmm.
They needed to go beyond what they did in the Texas Death Match to make the steel cage match feel more impactful. If you're doing a brand new feud, you don't need to up the ante of what two other guys did. I don't think that's a fair comparison.
Okay, that's fair enough. I mean, I'm just looking at, when people are going to start to expect this these things happening more and more, and a lot of times when when you get into an entertainment situation like that, like what's your next big trick? And I do get a little nervous about, where do you go from here? Where do you go from, okay, I just suffocated one of my best friends with a plastic bag. Well, okay, well, what's next? You know what I'm saying? It's a tricky. I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm saying that I think they've got to think about that a little bit more because if you want to bring more people in, part of the way to do it is to have parents bring their kids, and
I I
you
I
know you know what I'm
personally
saying?
think I personally think AEW is very comfortable with the being the alternative to the family friendly product that is the WWE. I think they were designed when they were created to be an alternative, and I think they will continue to figure out ways to be the alternative to WWE. And if that is some forms of violence that you're not going to see on the other product, and you're going to be the more adult oriented wrestling product, then that's what they're going to go for. Because at the end of the day, once this media rights deal gets announced and AEW becomes, the second most profitable wrestling company in the last 50 plus years, they're not going to be too worried about, things like selling out venues and stuff like that. They're gonna be fine. And I think, if you build it, they will come. And there's an audience for what they're doing. And as long as they're consistent with their product and they continue to put on a quality product week in, week out, they will continue to build their audience that way. Consistency is key. And that's the problem with all pro wrestling companies because they go through hot and cold periods. AEW is hot right now, and AEW needs to remain hot. They can't afford to cool themselves off going in through the rest of this year.
No, that is very true, and they certainly caught everybody's attention, and now it's going to be fun to see what they do with it. You know, or and we have Jesse Hyde in the chat box saying BCC announcing Shane O'Mac as their new leader. Is that where this is going? You think Shane's involved in this?
I don't. I don't. Not even a little bit. That was a really weird fan theory that came out when Mox said this is not your company anymore. but I believe he was talking to Bryan Danielson. I think Mox is angry that Danielson holds a championship for a company he's not under contract with. I think Mox takes that personally. I think Mox bleeds AEW, and I think he feels that Danielson already has one foot out the door. He's not under contract. He's holding the company's world title, and Mox has a problem with that. And I think that's where all this is stemming from. I think Mox wants to talk to Darby Allin because I think Mox wants Darby's title shot that Darby currently has against Danielson at Grand Slam later this month.
Right.
I think that's what this is. I think that's what this is all leading to. So it's going to be very interesting to see how things play out on Dynamite. But the thing is, everybody's talking, and I think they're going to have a lot of eyeballs on TBS this Wednesday night for the show.
I have a feeling there definitely will be. I mean, this was whether you were comfortable with everything or not that happened on the card, you got to wonder what's next. And in a lot of places.
And you need to keep in mind, a lot of this hardcore stuff, they don't do a lot of that on TNT and TBS. This is more reserved for, behind the paywall pay-per-view type thing. So if you're worried about the family-friendly thing, I still think you could take a family to Dynamite or Collision or whatever. But when we're going pay-per-views, probably you don't want to take your kids to an AEW pay-per-view based on take a look at the card before you buy a ticket, because there might be a match out there you might not want your kids to see.
Yeah,
but you're not seeing that stuff on TNT and TBS as much as some people might prefer them to be doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I was at Double or Nothing, and I had a friend of mine that works here at the station who had her son with him, and and they were like, "Oh man, this is too much." And that was Double or Nothing when they had the Anarchy in the Arena match, the Edge Steel Cage match, and it was a lot. I mean, I just wonder if this is something they're going to have to watch out for, because you think about it. I think somebody in the chat box had made a funny comment about being a felony group here, but we've seen Jack Perry get lit on fire, and then that match, Darby Allin got hung upside down and double super kicked with thumbtacks and all that. And now you add this in, and man, it's a lot. It is a lot. So I don't know. Yeah, Mark just saying, you're just seeing arson on TBS. That's good. There you go. Yeah, just the minor crimes. Property crimes are okay.
I mean, Randy Orton set Bray Wyatt's house on fire. It's not like WWE, the PG product, hasn't done this before. Yeah. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. So we'll see how it turns out for AEW, but Wednesday's Dynamite should be a lot of fun. So we're going to get ready for that.
Hi, pro wrestling fans. Mark Hoke here. I'd really appreciate it if you would take a moment to join the Mark Hoke Show family, and please click on the subscribe button below. Also, please stick around and check out the incredible sponsor of this video. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again on the Mark Hoke Show YouTube channel.
Looking for high-quality custom screen printing in Las Vegas? Look no further than Off Grid Creations. Need a few custom t-shirts for a local event, band merchandise, or family reunion? We've got you covered. Large order of uniforms for your staff, sports team, or club? We can handle that too. Our experienced team will work closely with you throughout the entire process, from design consultation to final product. Call us at 661-300-1115. That's 661-300-1115, or visit our website at off-gridcreations.com. Get a free consultation today.